Welcome future wizards and witches, let's dive into a first look, first play review on Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is self-described as an immersive open world action role-playing game set in the 1800s wizarding world, which puts the players at the centre of their own adventure, and so far it does pretty much just that. This game has already seen overwhelmingly positive reviews from many reviewers and critics, and this is the opinion of a regular consumer who is not a massive fan of the Harry Potter world or the Hogwarts wizarding world. I am just a regular fan of it. I like the movies, I have not read the books, and I am completely disregarding anything to do with J.K. Rowling in this review. Now before we dive in, anyone who is unfamiliar with my channel, all my first look, first play reviews are based between 5 and 10 hours gameplay, meaning that initial opinions can change as the game progresses. I will talk about my opinions playing it on a high-end gaming PC, and also a few opinions playing it on the Valve Steam Deck. In this role-playing game, you get to create your own teenage wizard. Alongside choosing your gender, there's a very large selection of hairstyles and skin tone colours, with a nice amount of facial features such as cuts and scars and freckles. Naturally, as these characters are teenagers, there's not really any facial hair options or anything like that, which does make sense, but there was no changing build size, so you couldn't change if you were tall or small or wide or thin. You also choose your character's voice, although there is no northern accents, which is a little bit of a disappointment to me because naturally I am from the north and all of the accents are naturally just southern. As the story unfolds, it's very easy to get attached to your own created character, and the role-playing aspects really make you feel like you have control of the character's personality. All of the areas that I have explored so far, from inside and outside the Hogwarts castle, are pretty beautiful. There is no other way of saying it except from just damn gorgeous. A downside to the beautiful scenery is that it does affect frames per second's performance in some certain areas, especially inside of the castle. I was playing this game in 4K resolution on my 3080 Ti gaming PC, and I was hitting a solid 60 frames per second in pretty much most areas of the game, but I noticed in one of the halls in the castle there was always a frame rate drop no matter what. I played around with a few different settings and there was always a frame rate drop in that specific area. When playing the game on 800p Steam Deck resolution, I found it best to have the game capped at 30 frames a second and everything on low resolution. This achieved a consistent 30 frames a second and still dropped to 24 frames a second every now and again in certain areas, but it was very playable. To make your way through the map, there were fast travel points known as flue flames, which you can travel from, let's say, Hogwarts Castle to Hogsmeade very quick and very easy. The flue flames were very generous to come by and they were very easy to find. In a magical castle, it's actually really nice to interact with a lot of the scenery, and you can cast spells on many things. You can reveal hidden items and you can make statues move. That's pretty cool, and you can see ghosts and many other interesting characters scattered around the map that you can interact with. Learning spells in the classroom is quite fun, and it does make you want to collect more spells for your arsenal. Each spell is wildly different and can be used in their environment to help you through missions or even in combat. Despite the stunning scenery and storytelling, combat in this game is one place where it really does shine. Now, I wasn't sure on how this would play out, but after you've had a few duels or combat interactions, finding the perfect rhythm to utilize some of your newly learned spells is very satisfying. If you have ever played Red Dead Redemption and you know the satisfying feeling of whipping your pistol out and shooting somebody real fast and real smooth like a proper cowboy, Hogwarts Legacy surprisingly replicates that, but with a wand. Yeah, that's a weird comparison, but it does make you feel like a pretty cool wand slinger. Like many other RPGs, the ability to find clothes and other outfits is good, and so far from what I've played, there does seem to be quite a nice collection. A bit of a downside in the stories, the pre-rendered cutscenes are not as good as the actual in-game graphics, and that is very noticeable when it goes from a cutscene to actually in-game. Now, that's not the worst thing, but it's definitely worth noting. As I've been playing this game on the first and second day of the release, there was a fair few glitches that I kept seeing in the distance. There was a lot of graphic glitches and characters rendering in front of your eyes. Other than that, the game ran quite well. At the time of recording this, there has not yet been any updates to the game, but I'm pretty sure all those little niggly bits will be ironed out. With only playing less than 10 hours of this game, it's quite hard to give it a proper review score because I speculate that this will be a massive game. Taking on board all I have just said, I am going to give this game a 8.5 out of 10 just for my starting score. As this is a first look, first play review with less than 10 hours, this is subject to change, but there will be no surprise if this game is going to be a contender for Game of the Year. I would love to hear everybody else's thoughts and opinions on this game. I've heard many critics' opinions where it is very overwhelmingly positive, and it is a great game. I would strongly recommend it, especially to any Harry Potter fan. If you like this video, please hit that like button and maybe subscribe to the channel. As a small creator, it really does help. It's Mark from Modern Tech. Thanks for watching.
I'm sure they'd be willing to play after the trouble spent getting them back. It's a fine idea.
Isn't it? Oh, we'll have so much fun together laughing as all the losers get sprayed, which won't include me.